Hello, my name is Matthew Thomas, and I'm a journalist for TheThings, and I'm here with the Destination X winner, Rick. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you have me on.
It was a lot of fun watching you this season, but I have to go, right away. I have to ask you about that Biggie betrayal because I mean that was heartbreaking to watch. How did you feel at that moment?
Was it a betrayal?
Well, I would.
Did I have an alliance? Did I have an alliance with Biggie, or did Biggie have an alliance with Shane? Like,
I mean, you tell me.
yeah. So I was friends with Biggie. I enjoyed getting to know Biggie. We were friends. Like we were bunkmates. We shared a lot of things, but we didn't have an alliance. Like
It definitely seemed like it
I
came
asked,
across to him like a betrayal.
we came like, look, at the end of episode 1, Josh threw me under the bus.
Yeah.
Right? And episode 2, I went to everybody. You saw how awkward it was when I was asking everybody, "Do you want to work with me? I'm open to any alliances." Crickets. Nobody wanted to work with me. I was a leper. I was up in the front of the bus, and everyone was in the back of the bus. I was alone.
Yeah.
So when Pete and Janae came on, that was my opportunity. Like I finally had somebody who wanted to work with me, both of them, and we were like, "All right, this is official. This is an alliance." So now my loyalty is to them. And you saw I never ever betrayed Peter or Janae. Like we were in it to the end. And so when I came down to Biggie or Peter, who am I going to choose?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a no-brainer. I wasn't worried about either one of them going head to head in the final. All I wanted to do was stay true to my word, which was, "Hey Pete, we're going to work with each other until it's one-on-one at the end." That was it. Yeah.
I
But it
mean,
was, I will give you that. It was hard to watch.
yes.
It was absolutely gut-wrenching. I teared up watching it last night, and you could see how hard it was for me in the moment. I couldn't even turn around and face Biggie because I knew it was going to crush him, because I knew he trusted me. I had built that rapport with him that he thought I was, as far as the last person there, on his side. Because the whole game I was talking about, we got to get rid of Peter. We got to get rid of Janae. We got to get rid of the newbies. So that was the seed I was planting. I'm still part of the OGs. I'm still part of the original cast. We got to get rid of these newbies. That was the game I was playing, and it worked perfectly.
Well, I mean but that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about too, because like throughout the entire season, where you were talking about how it was like kind of hard to watch, I was amazed by the several moments throughout the season where you were like came across as like completely fearless to be open and openly going after one of your fellow competitors, like when you were going after Ali, kept like sending her back and all that stuff. Like how like do you just have that ability to be fearless in that moment, or like were you like stuffing back adrenaline? Like how did those moments feel for you?
So with Allie in the garden, like I knew either she's going home and it's not going to matter because nobody back on the bus is going to see how ruthless we were in the garden,
Yeah.
or Pete and I were gone and then it wouldn't matter. And then I'm alone again. So at that point, it didn't matter. We were allowed to be as ruthless as we could be. Look, there's two versions of Rick.
Yeah.
Rick when I'm in life and Rick when I'm playing a game. You don't want to be in a game with me. I am as competitive as can be. I am cutthroat. Like I love games. So for this to play a game for 30 days
Yeah.
where I can like make up my persona and just play it hard,
Yeah.
I loved every moment of it. Like I was exhausted when we got off the filming because I had played so hard,
Yeah.
but it worked. It was worth it.
I,
It was worth it.
I like to me, like it came across like you had those two sides, like because you had like all these moments where you were talking about your family and like as a dad myself, like I can completely understand where you were coming from, and like that moment at the end of the final episode where you called your wife, like how I mean that must have felt absolutely
Yeah.
incredible.
And you saw anytime I talk about my family, I teared up.
Yeah,
It's because I was going from game Rick to family Rick.
yeah,
And because I had suppressed all of the family stuff, all the obligations, all of paying the bills, all of running the business, all of that had to just go away. Whenever it creeped back in, I became emotional. And then Kim kept calling me out saying, "Rick, grow a pair of balls. How can you cry so much?" She hated me because she didn't know that I was playing a game and playing so hard that whenever something crept in, I welled up. And so it all came crashing down when I called my wife, because that was the moment where I got to step outside of game Rick and be the real Rick.
yeah.
And I had a few confessionals where I wished like I wish I could have exposed the real Rick to these other game players because I'm so different. And I wanted to connect with these people, not as competitors, but I just couldn't allow myself to do that because as soon as I do that, I'm going to lose the game.
Did you feel like in those long hours on the bus where you never really let that like real Rick out? Because like
I couldn't.
I know you guys spent a lot of time together.
I mean, I moved our family to Africa for almost 5 years. That whole thing I had to not tell people. My whole job as a content creator for bird watching, a bird influencer. My whole life is about the joy of birding. I had to hide all of that because I thought that was a skill that would put a target on my back. All the traveling I've done. It's like Allie's a travel influencer. I've been to all the places she's been almost, and I would love to have connected with her. Like that's how you connect with people is when you share stories and you know, like, you have a common background. I have those common backgrounds. Like Pete's dad was a pilot. My dad was a pilot, but I hid that from him because that's going to put a target on my back. So here I am not able to connect with these people in a genuine way, and it came across, some people picked up on it. The people that are intuitive, like Kim, called me out early on. Shane called me out. They're like, something's shady with this guy. I don't like him. It's because they are intuitive and knowing that I'm hiding things, hiding my true self. So like it only works once. Like the gig is up. People know who Rick is. So if I play a game again, I'm gonna have to do something different.
So that's that you mentioned Peter's dad being a pilot and Peter being a pilot, and earlier you said that you were not concerned about going into the finals against either of them. One thing I did find interesting was because you were talking about how you were all competition. To me, it almost seemed like it would have been like a better competition move to take Peter out instead of Biggie because of his like his experiences and his history. Did that never like occur to you,
No.
or did you ever consider that?
So if you watch Peter's game, I helped him out pretty much every Destination X. Like I fed him Amsterdam. He didn't know, he thought he was in Germany. I fed him Munich. I fed him Salzburg. Like I was keeping him in the game as a number.
Yeah.
Like that was the game. So I thought head to head, I can beat him. And you saw in the Jeopardy game, those I was getting all the answers right except one, and they kept getting the answers wrong and having to move back. Like I wasn't worried about going head to head with any of them. I was worried about Mac. I'll give that. If Mac would have been in the finals, that would have been a different game. When she went home in Salzburg, that's the moment I'm like, I see a path to victory here.
Yeah, I mean, I was very impressed with her throughout the season. But like, getting back to you, I was super impressed by like how you handled yourself in the game because, like you mentioned earlier, you had that moment where Josh threw you under the bus. Like, I like when that type of the moment happened. Like, did you like think you were screwed at that moment, or like?
I didn't think, I knew I was screwed. There was no recovery from that. For 5 days, I was a loner on the bus. I was by myself in the front. Everyone was in the back. They were all talking. They wouldn't talk to me. I was the leper. I had so much work to do to get back in their graces. And I'm convinced I would have been gone. I would have been gone in either Germany or Salzburg because they all would have ganged up on me. But by the grace, in come Peter and Janae, and I
Yeah.
have a way out. I have a way out. I have a new enemy, a common enemy that we all can focus on. Let's get out the newbies. That's not fair. That's not fair. Let's get out the newbies. But I'm working with them, of course.
Well, and like it was fascinating too because like before that Josh called you out like that, you had been kind of portrayed that like people were talking about you like you were gonna be like the dad of the bus,
So
and like going from like the dad of the bus to like public enemy number one, like that. How did that feel? Like when you realized like just how mad people were at you, or like just how like you were radioactive.
yeah. So I went in the bus trying to be the dad character. Like as soon as Jonah called me dad by accident, I didn't let that slip. I said, "Oh, did you just call me dad?" And then you'll see that night I say, "Good night, kids," when we're all going to bed, and they all go, "Good night, dad." So it's those little subtle things I was doing for them to like start treating me as dad or uncle, someone that can help them with their homework, right? Where are we, Rick? Well, we're in Milan. Where are we, Rick? Well, we're in Munich. Like, so I wanted people to trust me so that I could use that to my advantage later on. But that all got thrown out the window when Josh called me a snake. And I did think we were in Milan. I wasn't trying to mislead him. If you watch that episode, our whole team thought we were in Milan because of the clues. We didn't know how Jeffrey was going to play with these clues. How obvious were they going to be? Like Rome, of course it's Rome, but we thought there'd be maybe a little tougher a city to choose. So we were still learning and getting on our feet then.
The other part of your game that I found very, very impressive too was like your ability to get people to tell you things, even though you had been so radioactive. Like, did you feel like you were like interrogating people at moments, or like how did that feel for you when you were trying to get that information out of people?
Well, I was a very collaborative worker. They didn't show a lot of this where I would help people noodle with clues. I was sharing a lot. So Biggie was used to sharing clues with me. So I would pull him aside and say, "Hey, what was in your box?" Or "What did you see um, on the vase challenge? Like, what did you see in that hidden room?" So like they were all used to sharing with me because I was on the common side with them of trying to get out Peter and Janae. It's like they were all shocked. How come Peter and Janae keep getting the right answer? They didn't realize this because I was feeding it to them. Like I was doing a good, like they don't show like how good of a job I was doing on hiding the secret alliance. Like
Yeah.
they kept showing that Rick and Peter are always sitting together. I only sat with him when production made me or when like we're on a challenge together. I would never choose to talk to him in public because that wasn't our game. It's a secret alliance. So like the edit makes it look like I'm always whispering Peter. No, we were never ever talking unless it was like in a hallway or going to the bathroom or in the bunks at night. It was all like
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said before, I was super impressed. Congratulations on your win. As somebody from London, Ontario, it's a lot of fun to seeing somebody who's currently residing in Ontario win. I was rooting for you. I'm very happy to see that you won and have a great day.
thank you so much.